Hello everyone and happy Wednesday? Tuesday. It's happy new catalog eve though. So what better time to get our craft on? Sorry, just getting out some stuff we're gonna use. Okay, I want to do two things primarily tonight. I want to show you in colors, new in colors, and I want to still work more with country flowers. So tomorrow is the first day you can order all of these things. And it is also the first day then that you could order the things that you would need to be a part of Stamp Camp. Oh, geez. So we are going to quickly put together a card. These embossing folders are online exclusive, but super fun. So we are going to, and the fun thing about these ones, so even though they are not the full size, so you could use your mini machine, you can line them up. So I'll show you what I mean. So I am going to put this in here, and I'm going to be very specific. I always use this line here to help me, and I'm right at the edge here. So I'm going to run it through, and then you'll see we'll be able to line it up and run it through again. Oh, and it's a thin one, so we're good. We don't need any extra shims to go through. And I wanted to get on here because I'm sure there are people who want to watch the Canucks game. So now I am going to line this back up again. So you can see I can perfectly line it up, and so that I can finish embossing the rest of the card. So I'm going to double emboss as little as possible. So I am going to go here. Oh, that's where I was. Okay, and then I'll run it through again. You have to make sure though that it will still fit through your machine, so that's how you have to figure out where you can line it up. But it's pretty magical that you can do that. There you go. So I've got the whole pattern now with using this little guy. I don't know if it works with all of the little ones, but I did figure out that it works with this one, which I love because I really love this design. Okay, we will put that back after. All right, so we're working with peach pie. So this piece is cut 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. At the moment, I have this bordered at 4 1/8 and 5 3/8. We're gonna put it on a white card base. And then we can decide if we want that much of a peach border or not. So I left it so that I could trim it down even more if we wanted. So it was a tighter border, but I thought we'd get crafting and then decide. So what we are going to do is do some stamping and some coloring. So we're gonna stamp in our memento, and we might actually stamp off. So this is something I sometimes do when I want to color with my blends, but I don't want a really dark outline. So I'll stamp it off, but we still are using our memento ink that way. So we are going to do the stool. And then we're also going to do the flowers. And we're going to do the teapot. So I saw this idea and I thought it was pretty. And so that's what we're going to do. going to stamp that off as well. And then we are going to do the same with our floral image. All right. Now, there are two schools of thoughts. You could die cut and then color, or you could color and then die cut. We're going to color. So I wanted to just use these new colors. So we're just going to show you what they look like. So this is Summer Splash. So dark and light. And then this is our Shy Shamrock. Because I want to do the leaves. So I'm just kind of trying to decide. So that's our Shy Shamrock. So I think what I'm actually going to do is light Summer Splash and dark Shy Shamrock. So you'll see what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to do the whole thing in this light Summer Splash. I know there's a Connect scheme on tonight, so that's why I was trying to come on. And I tried to pick what I thought would be a simple design, but I guess anytime you're coloring, not necessarily simple. Okay, so that is that guy. And then now we are going to take this guy with the other end. And just kind of create a little bit of depth and dimension. Because these aren't line drawings, there's no, you don't have any help from Stampin' Up! Here with the where to have your shading, like we sometimes do. Okay, and then I'm just going to bring this guy back in, again, my other end, and I'm just going to blend that. So one of the best tips I ever saw for blending is that you need to put enough so that you can see it really coming through your paper. That's when you know you've added enough pigment. So I think that actually looks really pretty. So now we are going to take the lightest color, which to me is going to be that light Shamrock, this guy. And I'm going to use it over here. And I'm going to just leave, I'm going to leave a little bit of white. I see that sometimes and I think it looks so pretty. Because I know that's not what these are, but like hostas in the summer, if you have hostas in your garden, there's some really pretty leaf patterns that have, you know, quite a bit of white in them, or a bit of yellow. We're not going to add any yellow to this. I guess we could add some peach. Oh, that's a rose. Oh, I'm going to regret that. All right, well, we'll see what we can do there. Okay, well, I like to use my color lightener a lot. Hello, Casey. So let's see if we can try to get some of that out. All right, well, we'll do the best we can. And what I'm going to do on these, I'm going to just quickly do a swipe favorite things to do, even like on this big leaf that I've actually already done, I often love to run the color lifter over it just to kind of like really just get a kind of weird, it gives it a really pretty kind of wash look to it. I'm going to leave this one for now though, because I really like how that's turned out. I'm just going to add a tiny bit right here. Okay, so now we have our leaves. So we're using peach, and I'm just gonna pull in all the colors here, because I think these new in colors are so pretty, and you're gonna love them. So of course, tomorrow is the day you can get them. And if it's of interest to you, the starter kit, there's a big promo on. If you do the starter kit, you get like, you don't get the blends, but you get like all 5 ink pads, you get assorted cardstock, you get this DSP, and the markers, I think, as a bonus to your starter pack. So it's pretty crazy. So I think I'm actually not going to use any petunia pop, and we're just going to stick with peach and the pink. And hopefully this rose that I colored by accident is going to not look terrible. Okay, so I'm going to come in here again. Sometimes I just want a lighter, even lighter than what the light is offering me. I'm looking for a little more contrast between the two shades. So that's where this color lifter can definitely come in handy. And the thing is, if you lift too much color, you just go back in and add more. And then we're going to use the pink. Pretty in Pink, I think this was. So I believe this was a color from before my time. It used to be a color. It's very pretty though. It's a really nice pink. For anyone who kind of feels like, because what do we have now? We have pale pink. Pale pink, is that what it's called? Petal pink, which is really very pale, right? We had polished pink, which was like almost too pink. So this is like a really nice kind of girly pink, I think. Haha. Okay, and now I'm going to take the light one. So if you like to color, this is a great stamp set. Coloring is not totally your thing, well, then this might not be for you. And you definitely don't have to have blends. You could do this just with markers. The Stampin' markers. Because like I was saying, there's nothing telling us where to shade. So you could definitely use, you always want to make sure you clean off your color lifter if you were using it. In between colors, because it will carry the color a little bit. So then we don't all of a sudden want green in with our pink. Okay, now this, we're going to pull in our copper clay, which is a current in color. I'm just taking some creative license here with where I'm actually adding color. And then I'm going to, again, just take my color lifter because I'm trying to make this kind of look very distressed, which is kind of like the DSP, but I'm just sort of trying to do it without So we're adding a touch of color, but not a ton of color. Hello, Teddy. So yeah, I'll be curious to see what you guys think. And then we're going to, in our teapot, we're gonna do a little color combo here. So I'm gonna take a little bit of the peach. And then we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna bring in, so I'm gonna make sure it's clean. And just kind of giving this like a bit of a vintage vibe. And then I'm going to add in and just like the markers, I find if you use the lifter and then you leave it, right, everything kind of changes a little bit as it dries. Okay, so we're gonna die cut this all out, and we're gonna see we're gonna see what we think, and then we're gonna use this best friend ever. So I'm gonna get this one. It's one of these long, skinny ones, so I always like to make sure it's gonna be straight. So I throw it down, whether it's your grid paper, whether it's your glass plate. And then we're going to use the peach. Okay. Oh, you can tell these are new. The other thing we are going to do, in case you're wondering why I had this piece of pattern paper out, I've got a bit of a mess here. This is how we lose things. We're going to do a part of a circle. So I'm going to get out my deckled circle dies. But first let's die cut these so that we can figure out our sizes, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so let's see. We can put this guy on here. You might be able to run them all through at once if we run them through my big machine. And then we want this one. You just got to make sense of the shapes. It's pretty easy with this guy because you can see where all the leaves go. And then the flowers. And then we want the teapot. So it looks like I did a good job. I left enough space. Okay, so then we're gonna put them on the plate, run them through. Oh, I don't have my thin die adapter. I'm like, something is missing. Makes me think it has fallen on the ground. Okay, perfect. So we have our teapot, we have our stool. Oh, I actually did a good job. And our flowers. And then what I want to do is bring them over here. And then we're gonna put them here. I am actually going to take this, like I said I wasn't going to, because I've done it everywhere else. And so this almost looks too bold. There we go. Okay, so we're going to do this. But because we kind of need it to stand out a bit, we're going to take this DSP and we are gonna do a half circle. So we're just gonna figure out which size we need. I think it's gonna be this one because I think this one is too big. Okay, so I am going to, I don't want the whole thing, but I'm still gonna cut the whole thing because I'd rather have it too big and have something I can use later than not have it be big enough. So we're gonna go come like in here like this. So let's build it on here so that we can cut and then we'll go from there. I liked this pattern because it's still got quite a lot of white in it. So it's just gonna be like subtly adding something. So we're gonna put dimensionals on all of this. I'm gonna use minis just because it's gonna be easy. They'll fit everywhere I want them. Plus I always seem to have like way more minis open than I have anything else. It's very bizarre. Okay, so as I was saying, or as I have, anyway, Stamp Camp. If this bundle interests you, this Country Flowers, you can purchase it tomorrow and that gets you in to Stamp Camp, right? So I know that I haven't glued this peach piece down, but I want to make sure that I like what's going on here. And it's going to get partially stuck down with our dimensionals. So I'm not going to put dimensionals right on the bottom of the teapot because it's going to sit on the here, right? So I'm going to do that and like the middle. That's all we need. And then I'm going to figure out how I want the flowers. I can see my teapot, oh, is crooked. Okay, so I am going to actually put some adhesive on this because it's throwing me off. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to put a little bit on here as well. And then we're going to put dimensionals up along the top and in the middle. I'm just keeping an eye on the time because somebody has to go pick my child up from his field trip. So I'm going to have to get my husband's attention here in a minute. Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to cut this off. I find my paper scissors, here they are. So that just does that, and then we are going to get our words here. And I'm going to cut I'm basically going to cut it so we don't have, I'm going to get my snips, those are too big. So we don't have the periods. So we're just going to have best, friend, oh, he's moving, I don't have to use it. Best friend, ever. I should have arranged with him before I started who was going to go get our child, but he was out walking the dog. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then this is going to go on here. I think I'm going to trim it so it's tighter. So we're going to take that down to 4 by 5 1/4. That's going to go on here. That's going to go on our card front. And then these guys, which this guy is not straight at all. Are going to go on some peach. I wouldn't advise, this isn't maybe the smartest way to have done this, but it's how I've done it. So do as I say, not as I do. I'm going to stick it on here. And then I'm going to cut it out. So I'm going to do the same for all of them. And then we are going to use dimensionals and we're going to add it to our card front. So we've got a best. We've got a friend. Oh, I really like this, you guys. Do you like how it turned out? Then we'll add some gems. We'll add the sparkly ones. There's like sparkle in color gems. Oh my God, I'm sweating. Hello, Dorothy. It is a nice stamp set. I was saying the other day when I did a live using it, so it's part of that bigger sort of mega suite with the country, I don't know what the other one's called, but it's got the birdhouse, which has some nice sentiments, but it has really nice paper. So I know for sure I'm going to end up getting the other package of DSP. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to get the birdhouse stamp set. I don't see myself using a lot of birdhouse, but I've seen lots of people using it and it's beautiful. Okay, so we'll see. Okay, let's get this guy put together. So let's put some adhesive on here. This is like literally a new glue, so I'm not really sure what's going on right now. Unless I've picked up the wrong one. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but this folder, I love it so much. These little flowers. So if it's not on your list, it should be. When I'm doing a tight mat like this, I like to use the Tombow because then I can slide it around if I don't line it up perfectly to start with. I am going to put a little bit under here because I can see, because I didn't adhere it, right? It's not being held with the dimensionals and it's lifting. Okay, there we go. Now, where's our ever? This is what always happens to me. I cut out little shapes and then I move stuff around and I lose it. Okay, let's get our dimensionals. So yes, starting tonight, I guess tonight actually at 11, you could go on and order new products, anything you want from the new catalog. So many beautiful things. These new in colors I am loving. Like, quite honestly, I think when they first came out I was like, all right, fine, like they're great, but they kind of reminded me of colors we'd had before. So I think initially I was kind of a little bummed out. I was like, oh, they seem really similar to other things we've had. But whether or not that is true, now that I am working with them, I love them. I love how cheerful they are. They're bright. They look beautiful together, like all 5 of them together. So nice. So they're going to be really great to have in the collection for the next couple of years. Okay, there we go. Let's add this to our card base. And then we're gonna get some gems and we're done. And if you've stuck with me, I appreciate that. If you left to go watch the hockey game, hopefully you come back and finish watching. Okay, let's get the gems we want. So I want these ones, the Sparkle In Color Shimmer Gems. And we're gonna stick with the peach because I think now to bring out one of the other colors, it would just sort of really show too much. So we've got two sizes here. Let's see what we think. So we always want to work in threes, and usually you're kind of trying to do like some sort of triangle shape, is what I've been told. Oops. I'm always very cautious when I first put them down because I want to be able to move them if I don't like my initial placement. So I'm kind of not sure about this one. Guess I could always do it in the flower. So let's see, do I want a bigger one then? So we could do a big one, a little one. We could just do that. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Okay, that's it. That's all. Let's bring in our nice background so we can not be distracted by everything that I've got on my glass mat. And you can see the finished product. Okay. So we've worked with the new colors, we've worked with new gems, we've worked with this folder, we've worked with this new bundle and this DSP. So hopefully you think this card is beautiful and you will be adding some of these items to your list. Love this card. Thanks, Case. Yeah, I think it's cute. I mean, obviously you could have added way more color to these, but I kind of like it's kind of vintagey. So that's it, that's all folks. Starting tonight, you can get these products. If you are interested in Stamp Camp, then please go ahead and purchase those sooner rather than later. There is an option if you already own the bundle to participate in Stamp Camp, so that's option B. But otherwise, you're purchasing the bundle and the gem, not these gems, but another set of embellishments and DSP. It's $100 worth of product for the camp. Okay, thank you for joining me. And yeah, I'll get creating as much as I can with new stuff now that it's going to be live and you will actually be able to purchase it.